everybody, and welcome back to the Laughing Man Network's Fantasycast. I'm Rodney. I'm your host again, coming at you from a back corner of a garage in South Texas. Today we're going to get into Week 10 waivers. Just got off Week 9. Had a Cowboys bye week, so I got to breathe a little bit there. Just watched the Saints have an awful game versus the Ravens. Saints need to figure a lot of things out. But also the Jets. The Jets beat the Bills. Shout out to my cousin Tim. Huge Jets fan. He's so happy right now, like a pig in shit. You got the Jets, who are actually legitimate contenders for the division, maybe. I think the Bills have lost a couple games in the division, so the Jets are looking like contenders. So shout out to them. Shout out to Tim. Congratulations on that. I want to start off today. I want to apologize to everybody, the maybe two people who are actually using my advice week to week maybe. I didn't get to record last week, the sits and starts. Had a lot of technical issues, upgraded my computer, had some toddler issues, had a lot of stuff going on at the end of the week, so I didn't get around to recording that. So I want to apologize to you guys. We're going to get back at it this week, though. Let's go ahead. Let's get into the injury report for Week 9 going into Week 10. First off, the big name we talked about, the Bills. We have Josh Allen. Josh Allen got a mild elbow injury. It was kind of bothering him the last couple drives. He banged it on something. It's looking like a mild elbow UCL injury. They're saying that he's probably going to play this week. He's definitely going to give it a go. He may not have as much drive on the ball, but he runs the ball so much. He can throw all the passes you need, all levels of the field. So expect Josh Allen to continue to be out there. If you do have Josh Allen, you have room, and you want to stash Case Keenum, go for it. But I think it'll be all right. Aaron Jones looks like he got a low ankle sprain. Maybe expect him to be out a week. They're saying they're optimistic that he could play this week, but I'm not going to count on it. Expect Aaron Jones to at least miss a week. Garrett Wilson got a mild knee sprain. I don't see that he's going to be out any long period of time. They'll probably put a brace on it. He'll get some limited practices in. Maybe he misses a week, but the Jets are on a roll. I don't know if they want to risk putting this guy in and hurting him even more. So look out for Wilson. If he misses any time, you may see some more Elijah Moore. You may see some more Denzel Mims, but keep an eye on that. I always say Romeo Dubes, but shout out to my brother, Sarah. I'll say it. Romeo Dobbs. He got a high ankle sprain. Looks like he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Aaron Rodgers can't catch a break with his receivers. You had Cobb miss time. Devontae Adams left. Now you got Dobbs, who looks like he was going to be the main target over there. He's going to miss some time. So expect Sammy Watkins to get a little more work. And this isn't good news to follow up with, but we also have Christian Watson, rookie wide receiver for Green Bay. He got another concussion. He was concussed last week. He cleared protocol this week, turned around and came out and got another concussion. This is like the third time this season we've had a player have a concussion in back-to-back weeks. I've said it multiple times on the show. The NFL needs to figure this shit out, and they need to stop letting these guys play after a week. I know sometimes it's just a freak accident, but come on. Next up, we have Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram has a back injury. He came out late second half of the game. I'm not sure the extent of it. I haven't seen that he's necessarily going to miss time. It might have some back spasms or something. Might be pain management. So keep an eye on Evan Ingram. He's a guy that I've been pushing to play every week for several weeks now. He's been a back end tight end one. So keep an eye on Evan Ingram. It'll be Dan Campbell if Evan can't go. Guys coming back, we have Swift. Swift played, I think it was maybe 30% of snaps or so this past weekend. Looks like he's good to go. He had no setbacks. Expect him to get back to his usual workload. Debo and Njoku, they're both practicing. They were both out with some banged up, some leg injuries, ankle, groin, I think, for Debo. But looks like they're back on the practice field. So you're going to have your wide receiver and your tight end back on the field pretty soon. All right, guys, we're going to run down the guys you should look for on the waiver wire. There's not a lot to choose from this week. I kind of had to dig deep. These are guys you might be able to grab if you're playing in a deeper league, 12 team that starts 10, 11, 12 players, 14 team leagues, 16 team leagues for sure. But we're going to start it off with quarterback. Baker Mayfield has made an appearance again. He's back off his injury. PJ Walker looked like shit in the first half, and he got benched in the second half for Baker Mayfield. Baker came in. He was 14 of 20 for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half. This is not the Baker Mayfield that we saw in the first several weeks of the season. He looked way better. He looked like he wanted to bounce back. The team wasn't getting anything going until he got into the game. But it looks like Carolina's going to put him right back as backup. They're going to give PJ Walker the start again. I don't know if that's the best idea for them. That's not great for Baker Mayfield's confidence. It can't be. But maybe they know more than we do, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. But super flex leagues, especially if you've been having to play PJ Walker, you've been having to play Malik Willis, Ryan Tannehill, these lower tier quarterbacks, Sam Erlinger. Go ahead and get Baker Mayfield, stash him at the bottom of your bench. Maybe he makes a bounce back. Robbie Anderson's gone. I know there's some toxicity between those two, and now they have Terrace Marshall on the field. So go ahead and grab Baker if you're in a super flex deep league and you may need a quarterback down the line. Deshaun Watson, he's coming back in week 12. He's 38% owned. Go ahead and grab him if he's still available. You should have had somebody grabbing him in the past few weeks. When he comes back, he may be a little rough at the first, but if you can have him in the playoffs, if he can get his feet under him, if he can get going, he's one of the best quarterbacks of the past several years, but he hasn't played in like a year and a half. So don't expect too much right away, but especially if you're a winning team and you have a small gap at Superflex that, you could improve at, maybe go trade that quarterback that you've been playing, get a piece, and have Deshaun Watson to come in for your playoff run. So look to grab him. He'll have Amari Cooper. He'll have Chubb. He'll have Kareem Hunt, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Njoku will be back. So he's going to have a pretty good offense. He might have the best offense that he's ever had. The Texans were nothing to really be excited about when he was there outside of him and DeAndre Hopkins. Running backs. First off, we got Raheem Blackshear. Not an exciting pickup. Like I said, none of these guys really are. But Chuba Hubbard missed the game. He may be coming back this upcoming week. Foreman wasn't impressive, especially in a game where they were falling behind. He had 9 touches and a touchdown, 15 points. He's only 2% owned. So again, deep league. You start a lot of people. You have a deep bench. Go ahead and grab Blackshear. Stick him on the back end of your bench. Maybe if Chuba has trouble still or Foreman gets hurt, you might see this guy get some more touches. So when it comes to running back, sometimes this time of year, you may have to take a chance. So go grab him, stick him at the bottom of your bench. Hope you don't have to play him, but if he does blow up, hey, you have another asset for the playoffs. Jeff Wilson, 50% owned. He was traded to Miami last week. We didn't really think he was going to get that many touches right off the bat, but it is Mike McDaniels, is his old coach. He knows the system. He had 12 touches this week. He had a touchdown, scored 16 points. He played more than Raheem Mostert, which was kind of bizarre, but it was just by a little bit. Expect Mostert to continue to be the grinder. Mostert's the one who got most of the time in the 2-minute drill. So expect him to get some valuable touches, but it looks like Jeff Wilson's going to be involved, especially in the passing game. I think he had 4 targets. So go ahead and get Jeff Wilson, 50% owned. If you're into anything under a 14-team league, he might be out there, so go ahead and grab him. Worth the risk. Chase Edmonds. I was saying get rid of Chase Edmonds several videos. I still don't think he's an exciting pickup. He's 46% owned, but he's about to enter his first week playing for Denver. They only have Latavius Murray, Melvin Gordon, Boone's on IR. So they may need a little help in the passing game out of the backfield. So expect Edmonds to at least get a shot at some touches. Maybe he's not the same guy he was back when he was in Arizona, but maybe he just feels like he's in a better system. Maybe he can provide you some points down the line, especially if Melvin Gordon or Latavius Murray can't stay healthy. So go ahead and grab Edmonds. Again, not exciting. Don't spend a lot, but he may be able to help you in a deeper league. Getting into wide receivers, top of my list, I'm looking at Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams has been on the PUP list all season so far. It looks like he might be a week or two away from being cleared, getting some practices in and stepping on the field. Again, this is a guy, if you need immediate help, don't worry about Jameson Williams. But if you have some room to spare and you're pretty much kind of guaranteed to make the playoffs, but you need a little help maybe down the line, go ahead and grab Jameson Williams. Detroit's offense is struggling. They got rid of Hawkinson, so there's some targets available. They're having some injury issues with Josh Reynolds, DJ Sharks on IR. Go grab Jameson Williams. He was their first-round wide receiver. He was really good in college in Alabama. So he may have an immediate impact, or he may start picking up steam once you get into the playoffs. So go ahead and grab him if you have room. Terrace Marshall for Carolina, 12% owned. He's got 15 targets the past 2 games, 12.5 points, 14.5 points in those 2 games. I'm willing to go grab him. They need a number 2. Robbie Anderson's gone. You may see Baker Mayfield again. They're going to give P.J. Walker at least one more chance. But I think Terrace Marshall could be an asset down the line as well, especially if they keep feeding him these targets. He was a great athlete in college. He was really good at LSU. So go ahead and grab him, especially if you just need some flex help. You got buys coming up, or if you're already winning, you want to take a chance, go ahead and grab Terrace Marshall. The ODB, Odell Beckham, he's 42% owned. He's 42% owned. He's supposed to get cleared this week. He hasn't picked a team or anything, but there's a lot of good teams that are supposedly talking to him for his services. You got Green Bay, the Rams, the Bills, Minnesota. I made a little clip video talking about how he was talking to Minnesota and how that would work out over there. That would be a great fit for him. So look out for ODB if he is available. Again, if you have room, he may not be useful to you to week 14, week 15. But if you're pretty much going to make the playoffs, go ahead and grab him. Worth the risk. Nico Collins. Nico Collins is 15% owned. He's going to be back soon. They're having issues with Cooks being happy, whether or not he's going to continue to play or they're just going to bench him because their season's pretty much lost as it is. So look for Nico Collins to come back. He was scoring in that 9, 10, 11-point range before he got hurt. Go ahead and grab him. He may be healthy within the next 2 weeks, and he may be the only wide receiver on the team by then. So go ahead and grab him now while you still can. Bottom of the list wide receiver, Deshaun Jackson, deeper league. We're talking, like I said, 12 starters, 14 teams, 16 team. He's barely owned, but he got a couple targets in this first game with Baltimore after getting called up from the practice squad. Baltimore is one of those teams that, as you watch them, they run the ball a lot. They pick up first downs with the run. And then once the defense cheats up to stop Lamar Jackson, it only takes one deep ball. Deshaun Jackson is 35 years old, but he can still run. He's still one of the fastest out there on the field at any given time. So if you want to add him in a deep league like that, you need flex upside. You have bye weeks coming up. Wait a week, 2 weeks, see where that target share is. He may catch a couple of bombs, and if he catches one bomb for 50 yards and a touchdown, that's 12 points. I'm completely fine with that. So look out for him if you're in a really deep league, you're really desperate for a flex option somewhere. Go ahead and take a risk on him. Again, don't spend anything. It's not worth it. Getting into tight ends, not a whole lot to pick from, but we have Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet's 22% owned. He plays Detroit this week in week 10. His red zone usage has come up. He's got 3 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. Their passing game and their whole offense has come up a little bit, but it's still a lot of fields running. So Kmet's not getting a ton of usage, even though he did get 6 targets this past week, and now they have Claypool in town. So I'm not sure how that target share is going to spread out, but he's getting used in the red zone, which is good. He's up to 97% of snaps. The dude plays the entire game. So as your tight end, you want your tight end to be in the game the whole time. He runs a lot of routes, but he still does some blocking. So it's kind of a mixed bag there because they run the ball so much. But if he's getting the red zone usage, you need tight end help, go ahead and get Komet. Take a shot on him. Like if you're waiting on a Waller or something like that to come back, go ahead and grab him. You might get lucky and, you might catch a touchdown again. Dulcich for Denver. I said for 2 weeks, go ahead. Dulcich for Denver. I say go ahead and pick him up for 2 weeks now. He's 40% owned. He's averaging about 12 points a game. Past 3 games, he's got 17 total targets. That's great. He's taken over. He's the number 1 tight end over there. Russell Wilson is having trouble getting the ball downfield, so Dulcich is right there. They don't really have a pass-catching running back at the moment until they get Edmonds worked in. Get Dulcich. Make sure he's owned. 40% owned is ridiculous. He should be owned in more than that, especially the way tight ends are so scarce. Speaking of tight ends you should have, with tight ends being so scarce, Cade Otton, 20% owned. This past week, he was Tom Brady's favorite target at the end of the game. He had 5 of 6 receptions for 68 yards and a touchdown. I'm pretty sure he's passed up Brate as the starter there, even if Brate does return. I'm looking at Otton, especially in a league, again, where I'm struggling at tight end. I need that filler. If you don't have one of the top 3-4 tight ends, you're probably able to switch guys in and out. And I want one of Tom Brady's top targets. So go ahead and get Cade Otton. You'll probably be able to start him several weeks throughout the rest of the season. And he may pick up more, especially if Julio Jones or something has more injury issue. Well, that's it, guys. That's going to wrap up our Week 10 waiver episode. I want to thank y'all for tuning back in. Again, I'm sorry I missed the episode last week. I was supposed to give y'all trade targets to finish out your season and the sits and starts. But this week, I'm going to give it to you. We're going to come out with sits and starts. We're going to come out with trade targets that you should get right before the playoffs start. We know that trade deadline is coming up, maybe week 11, week 12. We're going to talk about guys that may help you win a championship or at least get you into the playoffs to give you a chance to win. So tune into that, guys. We'll have it out at the end of the week. If you have any questions for me, hit me up, laughingmanfb@gmail.com. Let me know in the comments if you have any trade questions, start questions, any of the videos. Ask whatever you want. I'll get to it. I'll answer every question that comes around if y'all have any. So until then, guys, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see y'all at the sits and starts. Good luck.